Inzamam ul Haq, new batsman for Pakistan with that very impressive batting average over 45 for Innings. 2000.
Don't mind.
Inzamam off the mark. There's no mid-on. Chase for Mullally. Cross from mid-off. I remember Ian Botham bowling Ijaz Ahmed round his legs in 1980.
That's a terrific shot. Cork's not bothering with the heroics on this occasion. He hasn't even moved. What a shot by Inzamam ul Haq. This bloke is absolute dynamite.
Well, he's just about half a yard over pitched at the moment, Simon Brown. He's used to that length swinging back into the batsman. And as they commit themselves to the drive, he'll watch the inside edge or at least a disconcerted batsman by swing. The ball hasn't swung for him.
They want it shifted every time Cork switches from over to round. And Inzamam has just clipped that away for 4.
What's happened to England this morning is that both Cork and Simon Brown have looked to get the ball nice and straight, hoping to find their swing. Both starting it around middle stump. And when it doesn't swing, for players of this class, the ball drifting towards leg is a gimme shot. That's not necessarily bad bowling. It just needs a slight rethink, either in an adjustment in the field or an adjustment in line of bowler. When the ball doesn't swing, you have to find other ways to get the batsman out. We've got a very unusual field here. There's a short leg in place and also a silly mid-off. The reason for the silly mid-off to Inzamam ul Haq, which England have persevered with, that's this man in here, is that Haq likes to get well forward, takes a big stride in his forward defensive play and goes with bat and pad stuck firmly together so the ball can rebound off both to that fielder.
If it's short, though, there won't be any bat pads, there'll just be 4. And Inzamam has come out and he's played his shots from the word go, and he's looking a very dangerous customer.
Well, that wasn't particularly rash. It was a beautifully executed pull stroke. Inzamam just waited for it and pulled it away over square leg.
Not quite sure why Mullally felt he had to bowl a bouncer on this very sluggish pitch. Look how slowly it comes off the wicket. And Inzamam just swivels around and dismisses it from his presence.
Well, Inzamam straight down the pitch and dispatching what he made into a half volley beautifully for 4.
One of the great strengths of Inzamam this morning has been how late he's played the ball. There's hardly a movement of his body until he weighs up the length. Just that little shuffle forward and a punch of the bottom hand.
That's a magnificent shot through the covers. That'll bring Inzamam ul Haq his 50. He had a terrible series in England 4 years ago. He's looking in supreme form this time.
He's played beautifully for it, and this pitch is much more like the surfaces that he's got used to batting on at home. It's firm and dry and without a great deal of pace. And his power, which is allied to his timing, is going to shine on a surface like this.
That'll be 4 more. Straight through extra cover. Simon Brown pitching the ball up, hoping for it to swing, but it's not doing so.
No, and that really is over pitched. Not much excuse for that. That's just a bad ball. width and too full a length. Inzamam's got no problem with, see how he whips the bottom hand into those cover drives. They're quite unorthodox. Isn't quite the same shape that you see in a more classical drive with a high left elbow, but a real flick of the bottom hand. If he hits it, it stays hit. Pakistan cricketers play a lot of squash, of course, to their country, and there's definitely a squash motion in that flick there.
Brown to Inzamam. That'll beat Mullally at mid-on. Race away for 3 runs.
This is a super shot. I mean, this is a perfectly good length from Brown around middle stump, and Inzamam's played a shot that of modern players really only very few. Greg Chappell was one who were able to play that stroke, hit the ball wide of mid-on off the back foot from something around a good length.
Mullally to Inzamam. Mullally bowling round the wicket at Inzamam, and doesn't look awfully keen on Inzamam either.
Well, it's just a bit of natural aggression. You've got to have it as a quick bowler. I mean, the best of mates off the field, but when you're facing each other from 22 yards, there's no love lost. We'll see that later on in this contest when Wasim Akram bowls to Michael Atherton. Lancashire teammates, good friends, live within a couple of miles of each other in South Manchester, but there'll be no love lost when those two are at each other's throats.
And that has been smashed away for 4.
Well, it doesn't matter how much you glare at the batsman. If you slip him a wide half volley, he's going to climb into it and crash it through extra cover, as Inzamam has. Down on one knee. It's a glorious stroke.
In the sky, it was absolutely perfect first thing this morning. I would say at the moment the clouds in the sky would be more of more concern to England. Really, they haven't looked like they've got too much cutting edge to this bowling attack. 3 of their wickets have been gifted to them, and that is comprehensive.
Terrific shot from Inzamam to bring up the Pakistan 200. Down the pitch early, gets to the pitch of the ball, smashes it wide of the mid-on. Beautifully placed.
And even though there's a man at long on, Inzamam not afraid to get down the wicket and hit it in the air. 6 away from 100 now, Inzamam. And knowing Inzamam ul Haq, it would be no great surprise if he decided to get to 3 figures in the grand manner.
Not many achieve that in test match cricket.
Inzamam could have done, though. There you are. It's 6. It's 100. And Lord's Cricket Ground will rise to this young man who has quite simply enthralled and captivated us today. It's been a marvellous 100. It's his 5th in Test match cricket, his 1st against England, and that is a class knock.
He's oozed confidence from the moment he came out of the pavilion, and what a way to bring up a century. Down the track again to Graham Hick. A little bit more bottom hand in that, more power, carrying the ball over the rope. 6 runs and 100 to Inzamam.
That is a magnificent shot. Inzamam's taken a particular liking to Simon Brown, and that's got to be one of the top shots of the day.
Every time Brown over pitches, Inzamam hits him to the boundary. Bottom hand in there at the last possible second again.
That's a good shot, straight down the ground for 4.
This is becoming too common in Dominic Cork's bowling analysis these days. It's all very well having aggressive fields, but if you're going to keep pitching the ball up on a pitch such as this, you're going to keep giving boundaries away.
And Inzamam ul Haq is getting plenty of bat on the ball too. Some of his stroke play has been remarkable with the economy of effort in the stroke and the outstanding footwork.
Well, you're not going to swing it by banging it in here, and well, it was a fairly well-directed bouncer. There was not enough pace on the ball to trouble Inzamam. He's got in position beautifully and hit it all along the floor. There's no chance of a catch there. The man at square leg, Dominic Cork, stood no chance.
That's as good a stroke as he's played. Now, one of the ways to cope with swing bowling is to wait as long as you possibly can, not commit yourself. Watch how the batsman goes with the swinging ball.
He's done exactly that. Inzamam waited. A minimum of foot movement again, but the bat is so perfectly straight, the high follow through. Nothing really wrong with the delivery from Cork. He's just bowled it a little bit too full, but he has to bowl full if he's going to give it a chance to swing.
This bloke is giving it some terrific hammer now. He's ended up on one knee, much as Rowan Kanai used to do. We're watching a quite brilliant innings.
This is a wonderful pose to finish the stroke. Down on one knee, and path of the bat is so good though. Straight through the line of the ball with a high front elbow, and that screamed through the covers for 4.
Pulled away and pulled away for 4. Which is 19th 4, and it moves him up to 147.
Inzamam's been very severe on anything short today. The bowlers have really struggled to get the ball above shoulder height. And for a big man, he's very quick on his feet. A lot of time to adjust. Got himself stationed.